Hey guys, today we are going to be making a card using the Retiring Nailed It stamp set. This is in the Occasions catalog, and it was a bundle, so you could get DSP, you could get dies with it, washi tape, and some embellishments. Well, everything is sold out except the cardstock pack, so just your plain 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and the stamps. Everything else is sold out. So the dies are no longer available, but this is such a cute set, and I wish I featured it before the dies were out of stock. But I'm going to go ahead and feature it now because you don't necessarily need the dies for this stamp set. So here is my sample card. And I used a few products that are available and carrying over. Well, I say a few. This embossing folder, the Hexagon Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder, is being carried over, and you can still purchase it, and it's great for masculine cards. So with the sample card, I did use the dies, but these stamps you could easily fussy cut out. So we're going to make a similar card to this, but I'm going to change a couple things. So we're going to need our Nailed It stamp set, basic black ink. You will need a basic gray. I think this is what basic gray is. Basic gray card base, and I'm doing a top folding card. This is A2 size, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Then you're going to take a piece of basic black, which measures 5 1/4 by 4. And then I am taking some silver. I don't remember the name of this off the top of my head, but it's like mirror cardstock, so you can see the shine. And this measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then you're going to need some scraps of smoky slate, crumb cake, and basic gray. Also, I've gone ahead and taken a piece of basic black and cut it out with my stitched circle framelits. So we're going to need this. And before I forget, I wrote myself a sticky note and sitting beside me, and I almost forgot. This is on sale. It is regularly $21 just the stamp set, but now it's on sale for $15.75 if you're interested and you are needing some masculine themed stamps for Father's Day or birthday. It's just a really great, cool set. And if you go on Pinterest and type in Stamp It Up Nailed It, you have some cute projects at your fingertips that you can case. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to go ahead and take my Big Shot. Now, you may have a different platform than me. I got my Big Shot almost a year ago, so it's not the Stampin' Up! Big Shot. And with that came this plate, this platform with tabs. So if you have one like me, you can do as I do, but if you don't, follow the directions. So I take mine and I flip open both tabs to tab 1. And then I put my base plate down, and that's it. You do not use your top plate with these types of embossing folders. This embossing folder is very thick. So if you try to shove it in there, it will break your Big Shot, and you definitely don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mirror piece of cardstock and go ahead and stick this in my embossing folder nice and straight. Close it, then run it through. And then we have this really cool textured effect. And you can, well, I was going to say you can use either side. If this was a normal piece of cardstock, you could use either side. But of course, we're going to use the mirror side. So isn't that awesome? It reminds me of the toolbox, and I forget what that texture is called. But anyway, really cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take my pieces of this card. Here's my card base. I'm going to take the piece of black cardstock. Go ahead and adhere this down. Since this is textured, I'm going to add, I usually just do tape on 2 sides. It's whatever your preference is. I'm going to add it. Be generous with it. And we'll go ahead and do this. And then I'm going to take my stitched piece And I'm going to pop that up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we will get to stamping in a second. What I'm going to do today is we're going to do a little paper piecing. Now with this, my sample card, I used my watercolors. So I thought I would do something just to show you a couple options. Do a little paper piecing, which I love. Because if I'm not in the mood to color, then this works just as fine. Go ahead and hear that. Let's do something different, and we'll adhere it in the center this time. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. And then for my tools, I think I'm going to use, I'm not going to use the saw because I'm not going to use my dies. If you have the dies, what was cool about the dies is that it cut it in the center. But we're just going to use the screwdriver, the hammer, and maybe the wrench. Is this a wrench? So I'm going to take my basic black, and I want my hammer first. I'm going to get a sheet of paper. All right, now that I have my paper. So my hammer, the wood handle is going to be in crumb cake, and then the top part is going to be in smoky slate. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart with all these colors. So I'm just going to do that. And actually, I like to choose one color and stamp the whole image, and then that's what we're going to put our pieces on. So I'm going to go and stamp the whole image there, and then I'll cut this, put it on top. I'm going to go ahead and take this. We're going to stamp this all in basic black again. Stamp this down. That's easy. That's really one color. And then we're going to take my screwdriver, and I want the bottom portion to be in the smoky slate. And then I want the top to be the basic gray. And I'm going to bring in, as I'm thinking about it, so there we go. I'm going to bring in my ink daubers. So before I bring in my ink daubers, I'm going to fussy cut each of these pieces out, and then I will be back. All right, I've gone ahead and fussy cut out all my pieces. And just to add a little bit more of a realistic look, so here's what it's going to look like when I paper piece it. I, of course, typical me, am bringing in some more ink colors. So I have my basic gray. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in an ink dauber, and I'm just going to ink up the edges, just to give this a little bit of dimension and a realistic look. So like that. And then I'm going to bring in my Tombow Mono Glue once I find it. Here it is. I have a new setup and I don't know where anything is now that I've organized everything. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Tombow Mono Glue and adhere this to the top. Oops. Like that. And then, if it will stop sticking to me, I'm going to bring in Smoky Slate with a new ink dauber, and then just kind of lightly rub some ink over that. So then you get more of a little roughed up image. It doesn't look so neat like the hammer, for example. Gives it a little bit more realistic. I don't know. I just like the way that looks better. So we'll put that aside, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my wrench and take the Smoky Slate again. Ink it up a little. I'm going in with a very light hand and starting off on the paper. And then for our little hammer handle, I'm bringing in crumb cake. Go ahead and add this to our hammer. Now what I like to do is I like to take a black marker. Now this is a Memento dual tip marker. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this, but if you have the basic black Write marker, I forget what they're called. I don't remember what anything is called. It's like I've taken a slight little break and I forgot everything. I've been so hypnotized by the new catalog. But if you have a basic black marker that Stampin' Up! Sells, use that. It works just the same. So what I do is when I fussy cut things, I like to finish off the edges with a black marker, because anything I didn't cut perfectly will be disguised by a black marker. It will look like I did cut it out perfectly. And when you do this, you want to make sure the image is facing away from the marker. So if you slip like that, you will mark the back of the cutout and not the part you want to be seen. So you don't ruin your work, because you don't want to do that, especially when you fussy cut items. It's very time consuming. All right, let's go ahead and take our card base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on my pieces. All right, so I'm going to go and place my hammer in the center. And then maybe my screwdriver. And then for the sentiment, I'm going to choose "Thanks for always building me up." And I'm going to ink it up on I'm going to do the basic gray. And I'm going to use my basic black ink. Alright, I did cheat and I did use the die that came in the set, but of course you can always cut it however you want. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. Use some of these side pieces. Go ahead and pop that down. And there we go. So there are 2 cards for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you are interested in any of these supplies I use, they will be listed below. This is guaranteed, the stamp set is guaranteed till the 22nd, so you have a few days. Otherwise, it is while supplies last, and after, starting June 1st, you will no longer be able to purchase this. So, let me know if you have any questions. All supplies will be listed below. And stay tuned. I will be featuring another retiring stamp set very soon. And the paper pumpkin is on its way here. And I have some news about paper pumpkin. I'm so excited. I've seen this one yesterday. I saw it in a group I'm a part of on Facebook. And it is so stinking cute. So stay tuned for that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.